Today, I want to talk about money. Now, I usually like to talk about how to build a wearable closet and how to be intentional with shopping. But if you think about it, that is only a small fragment of personal finance. If you're new here, I used to shop a lot, but I'm so glad I came to my senses when I did because every aspect of my life changed for the better because of that one decision. In fact, 2 years ago, we achieved our financial goal and I was fortunate to be able to go on a career break. I actually expected to have a longer break, but it turns out I do miss certain parts of my job. So now I've returned to my profession on a part-time basis, and I'm so thankful that I'm able to work on my own terms. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I manage my personal finance as someone who enjoys a few nice things. Now, if you have decided to be intentional with your spendings and you want to be consistent with it over a long time, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, why are you doing this? And what do you want from this? For me, I knew from the beginning that I want my freedom. You see, even though I was making a healthy living, I was spending a lot of it as well. So from the outside, things might look shiny, but deep down, I felt like I was trapped in my job and also my shopping. There were so many days where I wished things were different. I wish I could work less, spend more time with my family, and have the option to say no to unfair working conditions. But I didn't feel like I had the leverage. For a long time, I relied on impulse shopping to try to alleviate that uneasy feeling. But eventually, I realized what I really desire is my freedom. And so I went through a lot of books to try to educate myself. And with that knowledge, I finally put myself back in the driving seat of my finances. For you, your why might be to travel the world, look after your family, or to have the time to explore a lifelong passion. Whatever it is, this is your overarching goal and it will help you stay focused on your financial journey. Now that you figure out your why, let's talk about how to manage your money. The first thing you want to do whenever you receive your paycheck is to pay yourself first. This is a very common practice within the world of personal finance, and the idea is to reserve a portion of your paycheck to either save up as your emergency fund or to invest for your future before anything else. So let's say you're saving 10% of your paycheck. This means you should arrange your expenses in a way as if you're only making 90% of the money. I think we all know how important it is to have an emergency fund. For example, 2020 was a year full of uncertainties. I actually had to stop working for several months, so there was quite a drop in my income. This is why 2020 will always be a reminder for me of how things can change and why it's never a good idea to rely on the imaginary job security. Once you have an emergency fund sorted, you might want to start looking at how to invest your money. This one has always been our priority for many years and is the stepping stone for achieving the financial milestone we had been aiming for. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about investment plans, but investing doesn't really have to be that complicated. There are so many amazing books you can read if you're new to this, and I highly recommend a book by J.L. Collins, which I'll link down below. But essentially, the whole idea about investing is to make your money work for you. So the earlier you can invest your money, the better, because it means your money will have more time to compound. This is why I often talk about the concept of opportunity cost. Basically, the idea of opportunity cost is where you choose one thing over the other and that the thing you choose might not be as worth the money. So for example, a work bonus of £2,000 could either be spent on a designer handbag, a holiday or vacation, starting a small business, or investment. But the catch is, whatever you choose, you're essentially missing out on all the other options. When I look at things this way, it always helps me make better decisions. For instance, investing has been our top priority for years, but during my year of sabbatical, my income dropped by a lot, but it was something we anticipated and took into consideration. So on that year, we had to invest less. In fact, because I had more time than I ever did, we chose to prioritize family time and travels, and because of that, our spending actually went up. But for me, it was all worth it, and it's the reason why we went on this financial journey anyway. So my point is, there's no one right answer when it comes to opportunity cost. It all depends on where you are in life and how soon you want to get to where you want to be. The next part is to do with daily expenses. On this channel, I occasionally like to make videos about the things I no longer buy because I truly believe you don't have to buy something just because you can afford it. If you haven't done it already, I highly recommend you to take some time to go through all your recurrent expenses because you might be surprised at the kind of adjustment you could make with your outgoings. For example, I don't have a monthly car payment because I've had my Mini for 10 years. Now I could just go with the motion and upgrade my car, but I just don't see the point. I mean, I don't enjoy driving and I'm not interested in cars. So why would I want to spend the extra money on those fancy features that I don't even appreciate? In fact, I go by the same don't buy it just because you can principle, even with the smallest things. Some of the examples are, we don't have a TV license because we never really watch any TV shows. We have very minimal subscriptions and I never buy a Starbucks just because I happen to walk past one. It might sound tedious to talk about small expenses, but things can quickly add up if you're not careful. Besides, like I said, why pay for something you don't even value? Now let's move on to shopping in terms of the pieces we buy for our wardrobe. I think the first rule for buying anything wardrobe related is to acknowledge the fact that they are not investment. Now I am aware that a rare collectible Hermes BIRKIN bag can very possibly sell for 3, 4 or 5 times the retail price. But if you take into consideration the purchase history, the time and effort you need to care for this bag, and the consignment commission, I'm quite sure the return is hardly amazing. Besides, I personally am not interested to trap myself in the cycle of buying and then selling. So with everything I add to my wardrobe now, I do with the intention to keep them for years, if not decades. This is why I always prefer simple and timeless designs such as very plain cashmere jumpers or very simple pearl earrings because I know they will 100% stand the test of time. Now, of course, life can change, but my point is, if we see luxury items for what they truly are, i.e. consumers' items, we will do our shopping in a more practical and realistic manner. So far, I've only talked about how to manage our paychecks, but in reality, there's a limit to how much we can save. So I think it's important to not solely focus on cutting down, but also to look at how to increase our incomes in the form of promotion and pay rise. It took me years to realize that you won't get the compensation you deserve just because you quietly work hard and do amazing work. The reality is you have to ask for it. In my experience, if you're able to show the values you're providing in an organized way, it will happen as long as the rate is reasonable in your industry. This is because it often costs the company way more to hire and train a new employee than to give you the pay rise. I've also learned that you have to be quite firm when you ask for what you're worth. For example, when I go for a job interview, I will only accept a certain pay package, and if the employer vaguely says no or suggests to review the pay in 3 months, I'll decline the offer. And I find that when you draw a clear line, people tend to respect that. I do, however, want to add that I'm able to be that way because I feel like I have some kind of leverage. For example, I've worked this job for years and I also have my emergency fund. So I know it's fine to allow myself more time to find what actually suits me. I also want to talk about side hustle. I feel like in this day and age, a lot of people have a side thing going on. I have a friend who is a doctor, but he also does photography on the side. Another friend works in marketing, but she has a small business where she breeds German Shepherd puppies to sell. Now, I'm certainly not implying that it's easy to have a side hustle on top of your day job. I know it takes a lot of work to get a new project off the ground, let alone to make any money. But if you happen to have a passion or a hobby that you don't mind working on anyway, this might be something you want to explore. I make YouTube videos alongside my day job for a long time, even though they were not generating any money because I really enjoy it. I think it's wonderful to have a community of people who care about what I want to say. Now, I never really make any serious money from this side hustle. It's a fraction of what I bring in from my day job, but it is income nonetheless. I also want to be very transparent about the fact that because I have this platform, I'm able to save on certain things that I've always wanted to try out. For example, I was given a free subscription for 12 months for Skillshare when I worked with them, and I took so many online classes. is actually where I learned about digital illustration, which is now a side thing I'm working on. It worked out great because I was able to make a savings, get a sponsorship, and learn so many things along the way. So if you have an idea about a side hustle, I'll say go for it because it might open up a lot of opportunities. And that is how I personally manage my finances as a luxury minimalist. I hope this video has given you some ideas, and if you have anything to add, please share them down below. Thank you so much for being here. Take care, and I will see you soon.